Peace family, is Campson and Ernest from Remnantsgathering, and I just want to thank y'all. I looked today, we had 444 videos, 1.12 million views, and 7.3 thousand subscribers. So thank you all so much. That 444 really spoke to me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to screenshot this and let them see this because we've been talking about this. So shout out to you all who's seeing the 444. So I want to share this with you all again. Any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex, but it takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. I think that's just really powerful. Albert Einstein was dead on with that one. Here's another one. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. Jim Morrison. And these are just some things that are very true, very eye-opening, to say the least. And if you do not run your subconscious mind yourself, someone else will run it for you. And this is so true. So I wanted to share that before we got into this. Before I get into Kanye Decoded 2018, now check out Kanye Decoded Hero segment as well. That video, you can find it on my channel. I would also like to recommend that you watch The Ancient Relation Between Moors, Masons, and Aliens by Rick Smith. And he happens to be a white guy, but he speaks a lot of truth. Not saying white people can't speak truth, but it's great to hear the things that black people are learning, melanated people are learning, and to have people who are not from our background to basically agree with us. So recently, Kanye separated himself from the politics. You can see him here talking about Trump's dragon energy and, you know, how he supports him. That's just the energy of fire. But you can look at it like, is he a reptilian or archon too? So Kanye could have been speaking some what we call double talk. And he talked about recently how his eyes are now wide open. And now I realize I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in. And I'm distancing myself from politics, completely focusing on being creative. This just proves further what I'm about to get into and what I've been saying. Kanye is woke. He has a plan. He's following the plan. And he is like literally doing the impossible and bringing things into this dimension that would not be here if it wasn't for his bold, courageous attempts to open the minds and set people free to break out of the matrix. Let's get into this. Kanye West Decoded. So, first of all, let me start off by saying this. Kanye West is the only black man / rapper / everything else that has had the opportunity to speak with the president, a white president who's considered to be racist by some in Republic, and actually he had it shared with the public live, unedited. This man sat in the White House and said whatever he wanted to say in front of the president. Now, that's a lot more than what Jay-Z did while Obama was in office. The most he did was hung out with Obama. So I first want to say hats off to him. He opened an opportunity that has never been opened before for another black man on that level. He was not the first rapper invited to the White House. You know, Eazy-E was invited to the White House. Kanye did something huge. It was huge what he accomplished in hip-hop. What he accomplished was huge within the black community. What he accomplished was huge for opening the mind of black men to see the possibilities, even though we have been stuck in this very racist-driven construct of white supremacy and superiority. Hats off to him for that. Hats off to him for speaking out against Bush during Hurricane Katrina. We can't let this, all of the other stuff that's going on, make us forget about the things that he have accomplished that I believe are very powerful. Now, I jotted these notes down. I try to, man, I hope y'all get some good stuff out of here. I'm just going to say that. So I'm just going to read what I wrote down. All right. There's always two sides to a story. Really more sides than that. depending on where you're standing, okay, and your perception of the perception. But Kanye is the epitome of what we need as a people. We need to be shook up in order for the breaking of our mind control to actually happen, aka indoctrination by school, religion, TV, all media, and misinformed parents. In the age of Aquarius, a knowledge will abound. We are going through an awakening. If you haven't heard of Dan Winter, please research his lectures. What he has to say may be fringe, it may be weird to some, but his research and his proof using scientific facts and mathematics is undeniable. This all goes back to the stories of Enki and Enlil, which is a creation story, right? And so they created a slave race through cloning. Now, if your mind doesn't get curious about what I'm saying, you may be still deep into the control of the mind control that you're under. Because that definitely drew me in, and I wanted to understand the construct of the matrix, the creator of it, and who throughout history has manipulated what we would call Homo sapiens. Where did we actually originate? And all of this ties in to what's happening with Kanye. It ties into what's happening with us. There is an unfolding happening. The veil is thinning to the point that it's no longer there for those who desire truth. Now, Kanye has been making chess moves in a checker game world. Remember, reality is just a simulation. So not to make comparisons, but every single person that achieves something great, something new, something revolutionary, something weird, maybe unheard of, inappropriate, right? Maybe non-politically correct, not correct based on your culture. You should love black people. Why are you supporting Trump? All of these things, anything that's outside of the norm of the majority. Now, this includes people like Dave Chappelle. You know, he did something that was against the majority. Martin Lawrence, he committed, you know, they made it seem like he lost his mind because he's running the street with a gun, talking about somebody was trying to kill him, right? Remember that? I believe Martin Lawrence is woke too. And we all thought that they were crazy. When they told us Dave Chappelle was in Africa hiding, smoking crack, we believed it and we thought he was crazy, right? But enough time has passed and we have been able to dig up facts and we've been able to weed through the powerful ABC media mind controllers. And some truth is coming forward. Imagine living in the time of slavery. You can do one or two things. Fight them and end up dead, or be smart. Do the unpredictable, the unthinkable, methodical, until the enemy is confused to the point of seeing you as a possible ally. This is genius, whether he has been cloned or lobotomized or not. So I decided it was time to do another Kanye vid for open-minded people and people willing to see different points of view. So I want to break down the spiritual implications of what seems to be utter nonsense to many of us. Constantly fighting those who seems to be enemies or simply unfriendly is old and outdated. It's time to rebuild the world by being willing to be free to express how we feel without concerns of others controlling our actions. It takes courage to say things that will get a predictable negative reaction from the majority. So are you really being authentic? Are you really free to think and express yourself as you like to? Or do you find yourself following status quo, unconsciously being controlled? Because I have realized this, I don't always say what I really think, especially if it'll rub people the wrong way or diminish the perception of who I am in their eyes. We are all fake at one time or another. We must use cognitive dissonance to break our own programming by going within and learning to know thyself. Meditation, eating foods that decalcify your pineal gland, seeking your spirit guides and guardian angels leads to discovering multi-dimensional facets of who you are. Needless to say, many of us spend more time discerning others than we do discerning our own selves. Or we spend too much time seeking comfort, pleasure, entertainment, money, higher levels of education and careers. We don't even get time to allow the soul work of an individual to be done to the point of rebirth. We must stop doing the same things yet expecting a different outcome. Now that's the true definition of being ludicrous. Kanye is pushing the limits and bounds set by the elites. He's doing the most unexpected things in an effort of creating a different outcome for us. So are you following your typical patterns of thought processes, or are you ready to step outside of your comfort zone fearlessly by learning to see multi-dimensional perceptions of what we've been taught is normal and correct? Wow. In order to break the hold that the Matrix has on us, we must all try something different, bold, and courageous to achieve this. Answer the call of your soul's purpose, the reason you incarnated here in this time. Stop denying who you are and how you feel, because you know it isn't or wouldn't be acceptable. Don't be controlled, but control, influence, and gain the ability to be the creator and bring things into this reality that you desire to see. I went to church many years, and though I felt it was something wrong, I stayed. By denying my intuition, I locked my consciousness up, and my identity was anti-authentic to my true self. Free yourself from others. Free yourself from yourself and find out who you really are. Be free to think and believe. Let's rock boats and throw away anything that no longer resonates with us as authentic to who we are. Then and only then will the world actually change. If I've said anything that makes you curious, check out my video, Kanye Isn't Crazy, and the vid where I break down the so-called breakdown and the reason Jay-Z and his relationship really went sour. I'll put up a screenshot for that video again, so it's not hard to find. Also, check out the most recent videos that we have done on number synchronicity, like 1111, the video on deja vu. It all has to do with awakening to a higher level of consciousness. Kanye is bold. Heavy is the head. I don't know how he handles all the things he has to handle. Juggle all of the balls he has to juggle. The business, the family. This man has become a superhero. A poor black guy from Chicago. And he has achieved something very great. It's not even, there aren't even words to use how he is manifesting into this realm. With that being said, I'm going to put up a few things here, screenshots recently that I feel are important in the decoding of what's happening with him. But y'all, he's a metaphysician. He's woke and he's trying to assist us to wake up. I couldn't even imagine stepping into his shoes. This man has a lot on him. And though we think he's narcissistic and it's probably super easy for him to sleep at night, I don't believe that that's so. And I believe that when you have that amount of power and that kind of platform, and when you begin to see that people will say that you co-sign something you don't believe in to the point you have to distance yourself completely from it, like that's a lot to handle. This man has been through a lot. And I believe that the fruits of his labor and the truth of who he is and his character is going to come forward. And a great example of that is the fashion show that he did, which was really bring into Madison Square Garden something that happened back in the 90s, I think 95, where Rwanda had probably 800,000 to 1,000,000 deaths that occurred. Did y'all know about that? So Kanye's whole inspiration for the fashion show that looked like a refugee camp was to bring attention to what happened in Rwanda back in the 90s. Did y'all know that? And this man has accomplished something huge. He brought attention to a genocide that the whole world should know about. We should be more versed in a genocide of melanated people, especially if you are a melanated person. We know more about the genocide of Jews, white Jews, than we do of the genocide that I just spoke of. And it is because of Kanye that that genocide has gained attention. That's huge. We have to give this man credit for the things that he's doing. And yes, it looks crazy. Yes, he may be dealing with some narcissism. He may be dealing with being bipolar, where he has these manic moments, and he has these very low moments. But we all experience these things. And I just think we need to practice seeing ourselves, discerning ourselves to alter our own path. And if you take that log out of your eye, you can truly see enough into someone else's. So if you're still confused after me explaining these things, then you come to your own conclusion. But the reason that we do videos about celebrities and what's happening is because to be put in the limelight like that, that's difficult. And to me, what's happening with celebrities and politicians and things like that can give you insight as to what's happening in the spiritual world. And by him calling Trump, saying he likes his dragon energy, that connects back to ancient Egyptian texts and a lot of other things. So everything that I've mentioned here, I'm about to drop screenshots in here. Take your time, read through them, pause if you need to. And I hope that this was eye-opening for you. Thank you for listening and taking the time out. Continue to support our channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like it so we can reach more people. And you are definitely free to mirror this material if it resonates on your own channel. And I just want to say, just like with Jay-Z and Do As Thy Will and Kanye being seen with the Baphomet on, this wasn't an attempt to get us to worship Satan or take the mark of the beast and all of the same things that we thought. But he simply was using imagery to wake us up and bring and cause us to be hungry enough for the truth, to be willing to humble our own beliefs, stop exalting our beliefs, and allow our beliefs to be corrected, to be modulated, to be sometimes, spiritually, we've been off and we think that we know, but we don't. And by seeing certain things that celebrities do, it leads you down a path of, and before you know it, you've learned something new that's going to be used to enhance your growth in spiritual ascension. And this is why what happens with celebrities is covered on this channel. Peace, family.